It's a great day for hockey here in Bloomington, Minnesota, as we've got U15 action between the My Edge and Sioux Falls Power. My name's Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play, and straight into action. Floating one up and over the cage was Marcus Levine of My Edge in the blue uniforms, mostly matching white numerals. They skate from right to left here. I say that because they do have a couple of players without, and excuse me, had that the other way. It's Sioux Falls Power in the blue with white numerals. In red with white is My Edge. And as I was mentioning, Nicholas Savage, an easy one to pick out. Both with the orange helmet, the royal blue jersey, and no numeral. There's a quick shot on, and Ryan Manzella will hold on with the glove and take the whistle. At the other end, My Edge being net-minded by goalkeeper Matt Schuporster. On the draw, Jack Oland has a assist in this tournament. A little longer periods than the rest of the field. The U15s playing with 17-minute frames as opposed to the U12 and U14s playing just 15 minutes. There's a resurfacing every 2 periods, so we will have just a 60-second break in between periods 1 and 2, so stay with us. We want to make sure you're aware of that, so if you're watching live, you don't step away expecting there to be a resurfacing and miss some action. Adida Maida looking to play that up. This is turned over. Sioux Falls Power unable to keep the zone and bringing this ahead. Marcus Kaufman. Kaufman feeds it ahead. They trying to get it back to him now instead. Dylan Dodson heading the other way. Dodson and Nicholas Lohr trying to cut towards the net. John Kramer dumping it in from right to left. Sawyer Seidel gives chase in the corner. And this is stripped away. McDonnell will get it over for Dodson. Stepping back defensively, Nicholas Lohr. They feather a pass through Peterson behind the goal line as Sioux Falls tries to weather the storm here, and a great deflection, and it's tipped in. The shot originating from Wyatt Sender, and I believe that was Kaufman tipping it in. And the goal coming at the 2-minute 45-second mark for My Edge. And we've got ourselves a 1-0 lead. They will toss out Anderson, so it's Savage on the draw. And excuse me, that was Grossier, who was set up to be the center, now back into that position. 3 minutes gone by here in the opening period, 1-0. My Edge on top. Sioux Falls, 0-2 in the tournament, having lost to Blue Army, 11-0. And True North, 4-1. This is just the second game for My Edge. They fell to Blue Army 10-3, and then have to turn around and play at 6 o'clock tonight against True North. We'll have the call of that one right here on Youth Hockey Hub. And Sioux Falls finds themselves not only down on the scoreboard, but also without a player here as Jack Sievert heads to the box. The assist that I did not have on that was Sawyer Seidel. A collision behind the cage with the netminder. And Grossidier. So My Edge is losing 2 here on the play. It's Landon Steffen and Tyler Heiss each getting called. So we quickly went from a 5-on-4 advantage for My Edge. Now it's a 4-on-3 going the other way as 2 penalties were called just 14 seconds into the penalty that was being served by Sievert. Should say that is being served by Sievert as he's still in the box. And I will say this, with the penalty boxes having nothing in between them other than a wide open space, a lot of times you expect to see jawing. Fortunately, as this is shot on, blocker save by the netminder, the 2 players in the box for My Edge really having nothing to do with Sioux Falls. It's not like it was offsetting penalties. So Steffen called for slashing Heiss, called for unsportsmanlike conduct. 12:48 to go here in our opening period. Tracking that down is Noah Bottom. Brought into the offensive zone, Sioux Falls. Looking to make a pass across. Evan Erbsbacher was the intended target. This will be sent down the length of the ice. Manzella there to collect and distribute as he tries to make the handoff for Ebersbacher. Ahead for McDonald. McDonald with the lone goal for Sioux Falls to this point in the tournament. They throw one towards the net, kicked out, and Schoporster able to slide over from right to left. Now looking to defend there. Wyatt Sender gets tangled up. Sioux Falls now at full strength with Sievert out of the box, and they've got a very abbreviated 5-on-3 opportunity. McDonald from the goal line, and a quick whistle there as Gleb Yuzhikov slides over and tries to get a shot on, but the play had already been blown dead. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play. Joe Carlson, our camera operator, engineer, and producer for this Youth Hockey Hub broadcast. And 2 out of the box for My Edge. At the same time, Steffen and Heiss fired on, and initially Manzella looking to keep that from being a frozen puck, but seeing and feeling pressure coming along, he quickly covers up, and they'll take the whistle. My Edge unable to keep the zone. Tracking back is Noah Bottom. Easy to spot in his green socks. Brought back in by Logan Anderson. Anderson pinching, and they make a change. They feel pressure, and Sievert able to get it over to Anderson. Into the offensive zone, flicking one over, Jorgen Kovri. A collision behind the goal line. And sliding it around is Bottom. More bodies tangling up. Shot misses the mark. And Heiss will look to get it out of the zone. It's dumped right back in. My Edge with the opportunity here to take some time. Sent up. And Herbersbacher playing hot potato, gets rid of it as soon as he collects it. The goal scorer, Kaufman, advancing play. Heiss now gives chase. Heiss hounded by Savage. Savage makes sure that shot doesn't get through. 9:50 to go. Looking for the outlet pass. Backhand effort, and it's wide. Savage gives a poke at it. Turning the corner. Brought up, not out. And then finishing off a check is McDonald. And putting one in from inside the crease. My Edge add to their lead there on top by a score of 2-0. Goal scorer is Luke Steffen, his second of the tournament. This one comes having to do some math here. At the 7-minute, 32-second mark.
Scoring for My Edge, all by himself, number 62, Luke Steffen.
And we'll call the Steffen goal unassisted.
9 minutes and 28 seconds in the first period.
After having done a couple of games earlier in the day with just 15-minute periods, when trying to calculate the time that has elapsed, having to factor in those extra two. Snapping a shot upstairs was Kaufman and blockered away by Manzella. Kicked at and almost kicked the wrong way. Sender was able to make a pass there. Kaufman fires and whistles it wide of the cage. Netminder Manzella checking over both shoulders, tracking it down. Peterson, that's Josh Peterson, tangled up on the forecheck. And they capitalize once again. 8 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the first period, and it's 3-0, My Edge on top. And so at 8:30 is the exact halfway point of the period. On the draw, Jack Oland, controlled by Sioux Falls. Grady Gallatin looking to get out of the zone.
Marcus Kaufman. Assisted by number 61, John Kramer. Exactly goal, 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
So the second goal of the game for Kaufman and John Kramer. Given the lone assist for Kaufman, those are his first 2 points of the tournament, as well as Kramer on the assist. Cutting in and trying to beat his man near side was Jack Olin. Netminder did not budge, hugging that left post. Turning, snapping a shot, and that is swallowed by the body of Manzella. Justin Boyd denied in tight, but trying to cut in and see if they could get Manzella to creep away from his left post. He did not, and so he will take a draw to the right. Steffen creeping in a little bit early. They'll reset and do it again. Peterson tries to send it up the right wing side and does. Here's a possible 2-on-1. Sioux Falls Power into the offensive zone. However, they're slowed down gaining the line, and by then it became a 2-on-3, an odd man opportunity, but the extra player for the defensive side. Nice stick work to knife that away and prevent the shot. Brought into the offensive zone, in all alone. Backhand, forehand denied, then a backhand effort. Goes wide, a third opportunity. And Schoperster is able to match all of them. However, we do have a penalty called against My Edge. And Heiss back to the box for the second time in our opening period. 6 minutes, 46 seconds remaining. Again, it is a short turnaround for My Edge. This is the last game of pool play for Sioux Falls Power, while My Edge back here, a game that I will be broadcasting on Rink 1, the Bloomington Ice Garden, taking on True North this evening. Then the teams will move on. A drive and a score. Sioux Falls, a power play tally. Jack Sievert with the puck squirting out to him. And curious to see if they will hand out an assist on this or not, simply because I thought that we would consider that played out by My Edge. We'll get confirmation here in just a moment, but Sievert with a power play tally. It is his first point of the tournament, and it cuts the lead to 3-1 My Edge. Bodies colliding on the near side here as we see it. Slamming on the brakes was Dylan Dodson, but had his pocket picked in the process. I'll try to send that out. Bodies banging around. Stripped away, chipped ahead. And Gallatin. And so they will hand out an assist. Dylan Dodson also picking up his first point of the tournament. Remember, this Sioux Falls squad scoring just their second goal of the tournament. Their other point coming from William McDonald looked like an unassisted tally that he had in the loss to True North. For these teams, they will be back in action tomorrow. The 15U third place game will be over on Rink 2 at 9 a.m. The championship game will be here, and we'll have it broadcast for you at 10:45 a.m. as this one goes out of play. We'll also have broadcasts of the 12U Gold Championship game and the 14U Gold and Silver Championships games. So championships all around here on Rink 1 at 8:45, 10:30, 12:15, and 2 o'clock tomorrow morning and afternoon. Sioux Falls tries to slide a pass across. Tough grain there. And Savage working to get that puck deep. McDonald slams on the brakes and then defends. And these two are going to go after each other as knocked down on the play. Maida took down McDonald. And we'll see what comes of it. Would not be surprised if it's more than just coincidental minors. It looked like it started with a trip and then a shove. So in the box for my edge is Aditya Mehta. And for Sioux Falls, William McDonald, each the only representative from their team. And it looks like that's exactly what we'll have with 4:24 remaining. Nothing put up on the board. Opportunity in tight and somehow denied was Yukashov from close quarters as the netminder. Schoperster able to occupy a lot of real estate just onside as Heiss had to be careful. He's ridden out on the play by Sievert. And then Heiss looks like he's got a hat trick early in the first period in penalties. This is the third time that my edge's Tyler Heiss will head to the box. It'll be offsetting penalties as Sioux Falls Sievert, the goal scorer for Power, will also head to the box. These take place with 3:59 left to go in the period, so the first two can head out at 2:24 and a whistle. These latest two, Sievert and Heiss, will be able to head out when there is a minute 39 or less on the clock and a whistle, as it's coincidental minor, so they're not able to head out as soon as the penalty is over, but instead when there's a stoppage in the action. Quick glove save by Manzella, and we'll have a draw again to his right. They'll miss on the short side that goes behind the cage and around. Gathered with it and looking to advance it was Gallatin. Shot blocked into the slot. Looking to dish and unable to. This will be brought into the offensive zone. And it goes in. The shot originated from Luke Steffen. He'll get on the score sheet. I don't think anybody else on his team hit it in. I think that took a deflection off of one of the Sioux Falls players. The goal comes at the 13-minute, 43-second mark. And my edge back on top by 3. It's 4-1. Draw one by Sioux Falls back into their own zone. Touched on and out. Tracking this down.
Number 61, John Kramer. Assisted by number 58, Noah Bottom. Sign of the goal.
Kramer credited with the goal, and Noah Bottom, the lone assist. So turned to me, it looked like 61. It was actually 60. Bodies piling up, and Seidel slides over. At the next whistle, both Mehta and McDonald are free. Trying to stick handle, and it's poked, but not out. Seidel holds on and throws it towards the net. Oland trying to deflect it up and in. Can't get that past the body of Manzella. 2 minutes left. Well, down to 1:59. And excuse me, it was Heiss. And, well, they sent out Sievert. I thought it should have been McDonald. Either way, Mehta and McDonald will be out here in the next stoppage. Got a 2-on-1 for Sioux Falls, trying to slide a pass through, and Gallatin able to use his stick, or his skate rather, make sure that doesn't develop. Into the offensive zone goes Boyd. Boyd tries to feed that across for Elijah Moore. Picked off by Sioux Falls. And Josh Peterson will get it to the red line, dump in. Giving chase at the other end is Dylan Dodson. And knocked down on the play, recovering is Marcus Kaufman. He's got a couple of goals, and add to that a drawn penalty. With 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go, interference will be the call. The guilty party, Jack Sievert. He's also made multiple trips to the box. In fact, was just released and violates parole quickly. He's back in the sin bin. Trying to slide it around is Heiss. He'll wait. Fed over, now up top. And it's one of the things I love about going behind the goal line. You've got so many options there. Heiss trying to get fancy, and it nearly worked as he was going behind the cage, then made a backwards pass and nearly left himself an opportunity there for the assist. Just broken up. Heiss firing, and that didn't get off the blocker. You could hear it. That was actually the stick of Manzella that was able to get that shot. 16 seconds left in the period, and Sioux Falls will get out of the zone and will have a penalty upcoming. Believe this is going to be contact to the head. No, high sticking, although, okay, we'll call it that. It was in the head region, so 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Same result, as it will be the guilty party, Luke Steffen. Steffen had the second goal for My Edge, coming at the 7:32 mark, an unassisted tally, with 6 seconds remaining in our our first period. And that is how the period will come to an end, with My Edge on top by a score of 4-1. We'll take a quick break in the action, and we'll be back in just 60 seconds. You're watching the 2019 Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub. The draw won by Seidel and My Edge in red jerseys with white numerals, going from right to left here in period number 2. They lead by a score of 4-1. We skate 4-on-4 for the next 37 seconds. That is when Sioux Falls' Jack Sievert will be out of the box. Fed over, but the shot doesn't get through as Bottom tried to tee that one up. Stolen away by Bottom. Toe drag and toe save at the other end. Coming up with it was Manzella on the stop. This pass picked off and brought right back in. Funny, earlier games that we saw more traditional youth hockey numbers, typically between the numbers of 2 and 28, 29 for skaters, 1 in the 30s for the goaltender. Here, My Edge has just 6 skaters with numbers of 27 and below, 58 and above the rest of the squad. And we do have a stoppage, and this will bring the draw to Manzella's blocker side, his right. Controlled by Sioux Falls for a moment, then swept right back in. Anderson fighting to get it out of the zone, and does, despite the persistence by Boyd. Brought into the offensive zone. Great give and go there, but back checking breaks up the Corvey-Dodson connection. And Gallatin stepping up, reaching with his glove, can't get there, and now Maida will track it down. Maida turns the corner with speed, and he's looking to go end to end. Maida across the line from the right circle, then tries a centering pass that's broken up. Out of the box is Luke Steffen, and here's something we haven't said in a while. We're skating 5-on-5 with nobody in the box from either side. We did have some 5-on-5 action where there were offsetting penalties, but for now, the sin bin's empty, and hoping that it'll stay that way. A toe drag attempt by Gleb Yushikov. That was stripped away. In is Olin. Olin fires and kicked out by Manzella. This could be an assist as he feeds it all the way down to Dodson. Dodson goes upstairs with a shot blocker save by Schophorster and collected by Savage. Savage turns, fires, and held onto by the netminder with 14-11 left to go in the second period. We've got a couple more broadcasts here on Youth Hockey Hub this evening, including My Edge's next game as they take on True North at 6 o'clock. Following that up, well, we'll hold on to that for a second. Here's Heiss. Heiss goes backhand, forehand, denied. Manzella keeps the left pad down, and True fights that one off. Waiting, trying to find a lane into the slot, unable to. Then bracket action gets underway this evening starting at 7 o'clock. The first semifinal in the U12 Silver Division. We'll have the first semifinal in the U12 Gold Division right here on Youth Hockey Hub starting at 7:45. The semifinal game anticipated the puck drop, and the broadcast here on Rink 1. Heiss trying to catch up to it and will not, so it will be icing as Peterson had the inside lane to catch up to that one. Sioux Falls on the foretrack trying to create a turnover, and that was dangerous for both sides. For a moment it looked like Sioux Falls had the numbers as this one goes for icing. And at the same time, My Edge had a couple of players who were a split second away from heading up ice if they'd been able to get that chipped off the glass and free. Looked like it could have been a 2, even a 3-on-1 opportunity. As it is, both sides settle down defensively and negate the scoring opportunities. 4-1, My Edge with the edge on top of Sioux Falls Power. An interstate rivalry with the Sioux Falls squad hailing from the adjacent South Dakota. Sent over. Here's Seidel. And he tries to drag that across the grain. Too much traffic, and it's swept off of his stick. They'll reset and send the long pass ahead, touching up just in time, getting low, and Seidel with a drive. That's blocked out front. Laying his body on the line there was Anderson. Now ahead, in tight, and just off the crossbar, Dylan Dodson had his spot picked. And if that is a fraction of an inch further down, that's bar down and landing in the net. As it is, it's clanging out as Sioux Falls Savage starts a scrum and will finish it. He picks it up on the backhand, looking to guard away. It's turned over. My Edge coming into the offensive zone, looking for an outlet, and we're going to have a penalty upcoming, as it was Elijah Moore who was hooked with 11:08 left to go in period number 2. And it will be Nicholas Savage headed to the box, trying to argue his case. Not only do I don't think he doesn't have a case, had he been a little bit further ahead, that is more, he possibly could have had an opportunity, a case there for a penalty shot. I don't think it should have been called simply because Savage had pretty much almost caught up to him, and you've got to be free and clear to get that call. Here's Maida. He'll gather on the man advantage. Gets it over for Boyd. Boyd ahead to Elijah Moore. Moore drew that penalty moments ago. He'd love to capitalize here on the man advantage. It's turned over, and Jackson Grossier cuts in and tries to leave it there. Does. They fight at the side of the cage. And then wrapping up his man literally is Bottom as he spins Jorgen Kovri and lets him know, hey, my goaltender's got that. 10:32 left to go in the second period. We will have a stoppage and an elongated break in between periods 2 and 3 as we have the Zamboni resurfacing. Brought into the offensive zone. Drop pass. Trying to move it around for Steffen. Behind the cage. They've got an outlet. Waiting, looking. Behind the goal line. Pressured. And staying strong in it is Steffen. Back to the point, stepping up into the slot. And Gallatin has that broken up. Giving chase was Sender, but he will allow Heiss to control. Heiss has to be careful there, but makes that pass with precision as he was behind his own net and just dropped it there with somebody behind him. But to make sure that's not picked off, otherwise that could be an easy wraparound attempt. And then out front, Gallatin just can't spin and get the shot off in time. 5 seconds before Sioux Falls back at full strength.
Sioux Falls at full strength.
Savage out of the box with 9:04 to play. And we'll have a face-off. Coming to the right of the netminder, Manzella. Again, Sioux Falls, after this, done until their action tomorrow, either in the third place game or the championship game. Toe save, but the rebound slammed home. For My Edge, the initial shot kicked out by the toe of the netminder, Manzella, but it left a rebound, and that was sent in by Kramer. Kramer with the last two in this contest and the first of the period.
Scoring for My Edge, number 61, John Kramer.
Seidel has that swept away.
Sawyer Seidel. Sound goal, 8 minutes and 55 seconds in the second period.
So 8:05 time of the goal. Kramer with the lone assist going to Sawyer Seidel. For Kramer, the last three goals have been points for 61. As he started things out on the score sheet, assisting on Marcus Kaufman's second goal of the game. Then scoring from bottom, and most recently, Seidel. Looked like there was going to be a collision behind the cage, but Anderson slams on the brakes and changes directions. Now, with it, misses on the outlet pass ahead as he was trying to spring Grossdier. 7:57 left here in the second period. Sioux Falls done for pool play after this one. My Edge. A real tough scheduling as they've got to turn back around and play at 6 o'clock. Sharp angle shot steered into the corner by the netminder. Nearly turned over, however, it comes well out of the zone. An easy call for the officials as it's dragged back in by Elijah Moore. We want to thank all of our sponsors here for the Western States Invitational, including Map South Hockey. You can find them at www.mapsouth.hockey. The Little Locker Room, a family-owned business located in the state of hockey. You can find them online at littlelockerroom.com. McGregor Moose Lake Insurance Agency. Give them a call at 218-768-2444. Into the offensive zone, and the net comes off its moorings as Sioux Falls. Savage trying to cut in from a tough angle, and that's a bad break. The latest in technology, it's pant, it's jock, it's sock, it's 3-in-1. Wicked Rags. Find them online at www.wicked-rags.com. You can use the discount code YHH for Youth Hockey Hub for 20% off your order from Sniper's Edge. Find them at snipersedgehockey.com. And for the best in food and brew, go to Brew Pub Pizza, and there are lots of matzah. You can find them online at brewpubpizza.com. My Edge with a 5-1 lead. Less than 7 minutes to play in our second period. Tipped out, and Heiss trying to get some separation. Heiss cuts in and taken down on the play, a collision with the netminder. And it seems like everyone will come out of this one all right and unscathed. And solid defense as they're able to thwart the effort by Heiss and do so without sending anybody to the box. The draw will come to the netminder's glove side. He seems ready to go. Face off controlled by Sioux Falls' Dodson as he wins it over to the left. Stepping up. And Steffen steered it to the corner. That's, I should say, with both Landon and Luke out there, differentiate. This is knocked down by Luke. Played ahead and bottom. Upended and a delayed penalty, and Sioux Falls never touched it, so they're able to pull their netminder. Pulling it back is Heiss. Pass ahead. Offside as one of his teammates unable to keep that skate on the blue line. That was Landon Steffen, I believe. That was the player into the zone early. And Sioux Falls, Nicholas Lohr in the box. I believe they're also calling a player for my edge. And from here it sounds like it's Luke Steffen with the call. .554 left to go. And so it looks like these will be offsetting penalties. No, I believe this is an unsportsmanlike. But it will keep action at 5-on-5. All right. So Lohr and Luke Steffen occupying the box. Heiss cuts around his man in all alone. Backhand and a save made by the netminder, Landon Steffen. Tries to slam home the rebound, unable to. Poked away by Gallatin. A joust at center ice. Now picked up, firing a shot into the glove. Goaltender Manzella able to see that cleanly and hold on, no rebound coming. And picking up the loose puck and scoring upstairs over the right shoulder of the netminders, Dylan Dodson. Dodson picking up an assist on the Sievert power play goal. And now at the 11-minute, 57-second mark, Dodson with his second point of the game, and we've got ourselves a 5-2 score. Not sure what the conversation is about. I'm not sure if there was going to be a delayed penalty. And that's the explanation, is that would warrant the officials going over and making sure the scorekeepers had it. Regardless, Dodson on the draw, and it's controlled by my edge. This is blocked and turned up the other way. Ebersbacher leading the rush momentarily. Dodson with it. Tries to make a pass back into the slot. That's stolen away. And McDonald with the assist. So he and Dodson leading the team in the tournament with 2 points. Now here's Dodson again. Dodson comes in, slams on the break, and goes backhand and in. He had Schoperster just moving and sliding over to his left. And the goals come 48 seconds apart. Dodson with back-to-back strikes. And what was a 4-goal lead for My Edge now has been cut to 2. And it will be an unassisted tally. So almost as if he'd heard me, as soon as I said that Dodson and McDonald were tied for the team lead, it's now even. Big hit thrown there as laying the lumber was Wyatt Sender. They try to poke one out front, unable to. Sent over to the right side. Fighting to chip that ahead was Covery. This will come out of the zone and back up Jackson Grostier. He'll slide that around for Peterson. D-to-D pass behind the cage. And now ahead. And sliding over, breaking that up. That's a fantastic play. If you commit there, you got to make sure that you get the puck. Otherwise, your goalie is hung out to dry. Boyd got it caught up in his skate as he was in with Gallatin. Gallatin now turns back and guarding and picks that one off. Dumps it right back in, and I like that play. He had to stay back and make sure Yushikov wasn't able to cherry pick his way to making this a 1-goal game. But then, as his squad was in need of an opportunity to reset, just dumps it in instead of trying to hold on and perhaps creating a turnover. Seidel into the slot. Backhand effort by Steffen and denied. Landon Steffen with a good scoring opportunity. This will be chipped up and out. Will roll the length of the ice and icing the call with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in our middle frame. My Edge got the scoring started with Marcus Kaufman at 2:45 of the first, then Luke Steffen unassisted at 7:32, and then Kaufman again at 8:30 of the first, but Jack Sievert answered for Sioux Falls with a power play tally at 10:31 into the first period, and that is how that period ended. A drive off the blocker of Manzella, and he keeps his squad within 2. This is chipped ahead. Looking to break out and slip around his man was McDonald. Unable to, as Seidel comes up with a nice defensive stop. To the line, not out. Hit by a couple of different players is Anderson into the slot, and we've got a penalty call upcoming. So as I mentioned, that got Sioux Falls back to within 3-1, but John Kramer scored at the 13:43 mark of period number 1. Make it 4-1 My Edge after 1 period of play. In the box for hooking is Marcus Kaufman with 1:42 left in the period. So he's hoping he remains there into the third. Bouncing puck, it pinballs around and is held onto by the netminder, Matt Schoperster. Second period scoring got underway. Kramer again at 8:05 of the frame. But then Dylan Dodson scoring twice for Sioux Falls Power at 11:57 and 12:45. Both even strength goals. Makes it a 2-goal game. And Sioux Falls trying to cut it within one. A wraparound attempt won't go. Still loose and scoring on the doorstep. Poking away at it was McDonald. And finally getting it to go is Nicholas Savage. He scores. 15 minutes, 43 seconds into period number 2. And we have seen 3 straight goals in less than 4 minutes by Sioux Falls, and they have cut this game to within 1. Chopped away. Sent up, not out. And a penalty on the way. Hooking the call and special teams has been a huge factor in this one, particularly for Sioux Falls, as they've got a couple of power play tallies. However, they'll have to spend the next 56.9 of this period on the penalty kill, as the guilty party is Jorgen Kovri, as he's whistled for the hook. Steffen, pass over for Gallatin. And we're going to have an icing call go against My Edge. 45.9 left on the clock.
Scoring for Sioux Falls was number 15, Johnny Bereisha. Assistant with number 17, Dylan Dodson. Time of the power play goal, 1 minute and 17.
Dodson with the assist. And Johnny Bereisha with the goal. And I apologize, as I've been referring to him as Savage throughout the game, simply because there's one player in the program that is listed without a number, and he doesn't have a number, but apparently that is Bereisha, who is listed as 15, and he gets the power play tally. Dodson with a 4-point game, and we've still got a period to go. 1 minute and 4 seconds remain on the man advantage for My Edge when we come back, and they have a 5-4 lead, but all the momentum has swung the way of Sioux Falls Power. We'll see if they can finish off this comeback when we return. 5-4, My Edge on top of Sioux Falls Power in the U15 division. You are watching the 2019 Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub. Third period action underway, and it is the Sioux Falls Power on a penalty kill, but have clawed back from trailing 5-1 down 5-4 now. Still loose puck. My Edge in the red jerseys going left to right here in this third period, trying to slam that home. That is blocked out front, and getting a clearance sent down the length of the ice. McDonald and Dodson working together. McDonald with the clearance. Dodson going after it. Loose puck. And sent around by Boyd. Kept in the zone. Lohr gives chase. Dodson has got 2 goals and 2 assists. Has factored into all 4 goals for Sioux Falls. And the Power back at full strength in the slot, trying to just work a hybrid pass shot there. And this is picked off, staying in the zone, as Anderson and Covery applying pressure. A drive, and it just misses the mark. Tangled up there at mid-ice, couple of players from each side. They seem to be free and clear now. Backhand shovel pass. Leads to a shot by Peterson that's steered away. Stepping up, Peterson keeps the play alive. Peterson now being pressured by Kaufman. Kaufman with a couple of goals. Helps create a turnover. Sliding over, and Seidel had that one roll off of his stick for a moment. It looked like he was going to have an easy tap in, and now in all alone coming in is Anderson, and scores! Anderson gets the goal from Jorgen Covery on the outlet pass. And a game that at one point looked like it was all over but the final score, and they've come all the way back, and they draw even at 5 apiece. 2 minutes, 21 seconds. Time of the goal here in period number 3. And the Sioux Falls Power U15 squad, 5-5 with My Edge. Chipped away, and then finishing off a check is McDonald. Trying to backhand one out. McDonald goes in, spinning away from contact. And this will be picked up by Heiss. Long outlet pass, misses. That'll go into the bench.
Scoring for Sioux Falls, number 19, Jackson Gross-Didier. Assistant number 13, Jorgen Corey. Time to go 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
And my apologies as we go back and forth, and just as soon as Sioux Falls had tied it up, My Edge takes the lead right back. They score with 3 minutes and 14 seconds and are on top 6-5. And I shorted Jackson Gross-Didier, as for some reason, despite seeing him wearing 19, looked down and saw 18, Logan Anderson. Thought that was odd because it looked like an odd place for a defenseman to lead the rush. Sometimes you'll see that depending on how the play develops.
Scoring for Team My Edge, number 27, Tyler Heisey.
But Heiss
Number 62, Luke Steffen.
puts the
13 minutes and 46 seconds in the third.
My Edge squad back on top. Luke Steffen picks up the lone assist. So At 2:21 of the third period, Grossier from Covery and Heiss from Steffen. The immediate response touching up is McDonald. Just missing is Berisha. A drive in the slot. Sievert teed that one up. Loose puck. Banging at it and defending well was My Edge's Gallatin. This one goes all the way down, icing the call against My Edge. Controlled to the left of their own netminder. My Edge coming across. Looking to center it was Sender. Behind the cage, Sender out front. They're not able to get it to him. Maida loses the zone and has to play it back in. Into the corner as the netminder peers over to his left, waiting to see where this settles down. Into the slot. And Seidel gets the shot off, but it is steered wide. Shot on. Chipped up and now worked in deep by Sievert. Rebound and unable to come up with it was McDonald. Kept in the zone by Sievert. McDonald going after a loose puck. Loose no longer. Schoparster slides over and covers that below the goal line. 11:15 left in this one. Right off the draw, shot upstairs. Looking for the hat trick was Dylan Dodson. And not only the save, but it also created a rebound that quickly was gobbled up by the netminder. And coming back and scoring over the blocker of the netminder for My Edge. The goal comes at the 6-minute, 16-second mark. And picking up the goal is number 60, Landon Steffen. I don't know, I would assume the brother of Logan, who had a goal in the first period, now matched. Tracking this down is Heiss. Look at a breakout and gets it right back. What a great pass. Heiss drops off to Luke Steffen. Heiss with the assist, the lone helper on the play. Backhand pass out into space. And Dodson picks it off. 5-1. My Edge had the lead. Sioux Falls Power came roaring back to tie it up at 5, but a couple of goals from Heiss and Steffen have given Red the lead again, this time by 2. 7-5 with 9:27 to play. Long outlet pass coming up the right side. A drive cutting down the angle on McDonald. Netminder with a blocker save. And a slow one rolling in on the netminder. It was loose for a moment, loose no longer. As Berisha getting the shot, steered off, fought off by the right pad, and 9:03 to play in this one. Snapping a shot off the mark as Sievert has one already, looking for a second there. He'll go D to D, feeding that back for Ebersbacher. Rattling around the glass, and then an offering off the mark, missing on the short side. Dumped into the offensive zone. Peeling out front, waiting, firing, blocker saved by the netminder, still loose. And it looked like for a moment he was going to cover up, but he'll gladly take the clearance. It also allows a change for My Edge. Behind the cage, no look pass out front, but it's blue, not red, there to pick it up, icing the call, and that'll stop the clock with 7 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in our third and decisive period. Short turnaround for My Edge. Sioux Falls, if they're not able to turn around the outcome of this, would be playing in the third, fourth place game tomorrow. That would be over on Rink 2 at 9 a.m. My Edge looking to try to pick up a victory and then win tonight at 6 o'clock when they take on True North and have an opportunity at a rematch against Blue Army in the 15U championship game. Backhanded up and over. Breaking out, brought across. Wheeling and dealing, trying to get that out front of the net is Yushikov. Fed to the line. Sievert, and had that tipped by Yushikov. Right on the netminder, 6:13 to play. And we'll take a face-off to the right of the My Edge netminder. Puck squirted free for a moment, and Berisha able to get another shot on goal, another save on the way for Schoporster. Breaking out from right to left, Heiss. Getting a piece of it was Landon Steffen, unable to control it. Power bringing it to the red line and then losing control. In tight, too tight. Running out of options and angles. It's out front, turning, firing is Steffen. And somehow through all that quandary of bodies, sticks, skates, the netminder able to pick that out and hold on. Turned over as soon as it was brought in by Power. My Edge. Now looking to defend, and they won't have to. Offside as it was brought over. Covery and Grossier. Not in unison there. Sioux Falls with a record of 0-2. And in tight. Denied as Elijah Moore fired that one into the chest of the netminder. My Edge with a record of 0-1, trying to get to 500. And if they are able to hold on, then it would be a winner-take-all game versus True North, as Blue Army has gone 3-0. They've got, this is tipped on and wide. They've got a date in the U15 championship game tomorrow already set, so they can rest up. They'll be playing right here at 10:30 a.m. We'll have the call of that one and the full broadcast, video included, right here on Youth Hockey Hub. And again, Moore steered aside by the netminder Manzella. If My Edge can pick up the victory here, then this 6 o'clock game this evening will have all the implications on it, as the winner will move on to have a rematch against Blue Army and play for that title. Again, that's assuming this score stands up, and there's plenty of game left there. Berisha with about 3.5 minutes to play. Fed in the right circle, but couldn't get a shot off. Now brought in the other way. This is deflected up and out of play. 3:13 left to go. And then we get underway with bracket action this evening after the 6 o'clock game between this My Edge squad and True North. It'll be the U12 Gold Division semifinal right here at 7:45. The second semifinal of the 2019 Western States Invitational. The silver bracket, the U12s, over on rink 2, they'd get underway. But a late goal here with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left. That might be the dagger, as My Edge withstood a scare. But here at the 14-minute, 2-second mark of the third period, after seeing a 4-goal lead evaporate to a dead even game. They've now led by the most they've led here in the third period. It's a 3-goal lead. And we're going to have penalties upcoming here. Elbowing the call. And I believe it's going to go against Sioux Falls' William McDonnell. That is indeed the case. And I misspoke there, saying that there were penalties on the way. Just the one. 2:42 left to go in the contest. And this will be sent down. And they'll wave off icing, turning the corner. Brought into the zone. Backhand effort. And actually, no icing here, as icing is called in the 2 lower divisions of this tournament, forgetting for a moment that this is the upper division, so a shorthanded team can ice the puck without being called for it. And staying with his man was Manzella. They try to find the man on the back door. Skating into space was Steffen. Make the handoff and feed it right back to him, Steffen. And a big collision there. And getting it to go is Steffen with 1:41 seconds left in the third period. And what a goal. And what a swing of events we've had here. (15:19) time of the goal. We've seen My Edge on top by 4. Sioux Falls come back and even it up, and now a 4-goal lead again. Steffen unassisted, as he was able to withstand the physicality of the check and still able to lift that up and in over the netminder. And we are down to the final 1:10 of this one, and hoping that we can just get out of here with the clock running for the rest of the way, as a game that's had the emotional highs and lows for both sides. It has the recipe to get chippy. Brought ahead for Dodson. He has that knifed away. A drive, and it will be an offside, as it was on target. So even though a Sioux Falls power player did not touch it with 39 seconds left, that will automatically draw the stoppage. Fed over, nearly stolen away, and played into the corner by Sender. Moving that ahead was Kramer. Kramer's got a couple of goals in this one, as does Kaufman, as he was just separated from the puck. Maida gets tangled up there with Dodson. Maida playing it up. Seidel trying to help out. And Kaufman can't clear it out of the zone. 20 seconds gone by here at the end, and that will do it, as My Edge comes away with a 9-5 victory, and that will improve their record to 1-1. That will make this evening's game at 6 o'clock with True North a winner-take-all to move on to the U15 championship game. That'll do it for us here, as we will take a step away from the action, and that is our next game that we will be broadcasting. We thank you for tuning in. Joe Carlson, our camera operator, engineer, and producer of this broadcast. My name's Eric Zamora, and if you're a My Edge fan, it should be a fantastic finish to pool play as they're up against True North next at 6 o'clock in this Western States Invitational U15 division. A final here, 9-5, My Edge knocks off Sioux Falls Power. You've been watching the 2019 Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub.